Okay, now we're here. And what we have so far is Patrick, our little starfish, shooting little bullets or little black balls at nothing. What we're going to be doing is creating a common enemy for Patrick to shoot at. I said earlier we're going to be using a butterfly or whatnot, but it's really all up to you. You know, you could change it on the fly. So instead of like butterflies, because butterflies are kind of cute, we're going to use this bat. We're going to be shooting a bat. But this bat seems ginormous, so what we're going to do is just make it a little smaller, shrink it down, so that it's a little bit harder to shoot. However, it's still something that's shootable. Okay, so here, we're going to have this sprite, Bat 2. We have to give him an action. And we're going to have it when this flag is clicked. He's going to go to a random spot. And we do want him to start up here somewhere. So that position right here, if you look at motion, it's basically wherever you move the sprite, that's where all the numbers change to. So here it says x -24, y 114. That's what it is, right? So like I said, we want to make this bat appear random, because if he's gonna appear right here, you can already position yourself and shoot it down first chance you get, right? So we want to randomize this. So if you go to operations and you go to pick random, this pick random here, if you shove it in X, instead of being that certain number, you can pick it random from 1 to 10, or you can just put whatever numbers you like. However, you want them to stay up here, so the x-axis, which is right here, will be probably negative. So it seems like the end is negative 240, let's just say 240 to be exact, and positive 240. So from negative 240, how I'm doing this is I'm moving my mouse here towards the edge of the x-axis, and right here it says x. Negative 220, which is all the way to the left, and all the way to the right is positive 220. And y, the very topmost part, is 180, and bottom will be negative 180. So we're randomizing this from negative 240 to positive 240. So if you connect this, whenever you push the green flag, the x will be randomized. It'll be anywhere from here. However, y would be at a constant 141, which is up here. Okay, let's try that. Boom, 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 boom. It's randomizing. He's starting at all these different points. What we want to do is we want him to be gliding to the bottom. It's like falling. And what you're trying to do is shoot at him. Okay. So here, if you look at this motion, there's going to be a glide setting. Right here, glide. And I knew there was a glide because you go through and look at all these. And you don't have to memorize them, but you just kind of remember, oh, there's a glide. So it says glide 1 second from wherever x is all the way down here. So basically 1 second, it's going to take 1 second from here to here if we put the numbers correctly. That is pretty quick. So I'm going to give it a little bit longer, 2.5 seconds. So from here, you're gliding from a certain point to a certain point, but we want to keep it consistent from wherever this is starting at random. So we put the x here, but you don't want to glide from 141 to 142. That's a distance of 1. That's not going to go anywhere. So you're going to change this y. So if you go put your cursor all the way down here, it's negative 180. So let's put it at negative 170. No, let's put it at 180. So y would be negative 180. So if you click this, what's supposed to happen is going to pick a random spot on the x-axis up here, which is going to be the same. And starting from y141, which is up here, 141 will be right here. to y negative 180. So it's going to go down all the way down to 180, and it's going to take 2.5 seconds to do so. There it is. And it's going at a random y-axis. See that? Randomly it's going down. And I don't know if you think 2.5 seconds is too slow, but I think it's kind of okay. So let's just stop it right here. Yeah, this is just, we just tested it, so I think I might have said something a little different, but here you're picking a random place for them to appear, but you're gliding down to another random place down here. Okay, down here somewhere, because you're actually, y is going down here, but x is going to be random here. So you see how when it hit, it's just staying there. So before we hide it, we need to, it's going to have to show all from the beginning all the time. And you don't want to push the, what is this, green flag all the time. So you're always going to have to put a forever loop there. So if you put the forever around this entire thing and click it, what's going to happen is most likely this is going to repeat forever. So it's going to go, it's going to show first, pick a random place here, glide to another random place down here, and then again show here again and glide down. So it's raining bats. If you want to make it hard, lower this to 0.5 seconds. Now check it out. That's way too hard. That's impossible. So we're going to keep it at 2.5 seconds. And we're going to save this. If the bats are raining down and you're shooting at it, I mean, this is a game. Somehow you're gonna have to end the game somehow. Well, one of the ways the game will end is if this bat touches you. So if you don't move it, you move out of the way. Basically, we want this game to stop. Okay, now we're at this sprite right here. So whatever event we create, it would only work for this sprite. It's not going to go for anything else. So if we're writing a code for this line, we would have to say, okay, if this thing touches this thing, something needs to happen. Let's do this. If, and then, of course, that's what we're saying, if something happens, and if you go to sensing, there's a touching. Okay, let's pull that out and let's shove it in here. And if this is touching sprite 1, which is the bullet, or the starfish, which is my Patrick, then we need to stop all. I think there's a stop. Yeah, stop all. It's just going to completely stop. Basically, that's game over. You lose. And remember, you always have to wrap it in forever. It needs to happen forever. Now let's check it out. So you're going. Let's move this guy, and you touch him. It stops. Can't do anything until you push the green flag again. Okay, it stops. Okay. As of now, if we shoot the butterfly, not butterfly, what is this? If we shoot the bat, nothing will happen. Watch. It'll just go right through him. He's invincible. We need to change this. Okay? How if this sprite touches Patrick, he stops all. Well, the game is over, right? So what we want to do is, if this sprite touches sprite 1, then don't let it stop. Let's just make him disappear. Okay? So how we would do that is, let's make another if statement inside this forever loop. I mean, you can do it this way where you can duplicate this, and then you change this to sprite 1, and take this out and have it, where is it, sensing, hide. Okay, let's try that. So I'm gonna shoot him. Let's test it. Bam, he's done. He's missing. So this is how you play the game. However, you just wrote two of the same things that could be combined into one. Now, this is a simple enough game where this won't matter that much, but if you're talking about games that have millions of codes, that's gonna take too much processing power from your computer. So what we can do is there's already a forever loop here, and this if. What about if you just stand right here? You're basically combining two ifs into one forever. You just cut down the code in half. Let's see if it works. And it does. And this is the game so far. So this is what's happening. Okay, the one last thing we're going to add is how to keep score. Okay, if these bats are raining down, you're shooting them, they just disappear, nothing happens. Basically, you're gonna lose interest. Like, yay, yeah, I shot a bat, it disappeared, great. But if somehow we can keep score and see who can get the highest score, competition is always fun. So how we would do it is this data right here. Okay, this one's gonna be a little bit complicating, but I think you guys can get this. So hopefully you guys know what a variable is if you guys have taken pre-algebra. But variable is basically, what this variable is, it's just a representation of a number. Okay, it's just basically saying, let's give the variable a name like x. X could be any number you choose. However, if you click this, we're going to make this variable name score, and you can see the score number here. So all the commands are right here. Set the score to 0. Change the score by 1. You can, go up by 2s or 5s or 10s or whatnot, but just keeping it at 1 for here. So we're going to keep it here, and we're going to we'll set the score to 0 at the beginning of the game, okay? And because we do it here, because if we have the sprite 1 touching the bat 2, sprite 1 touching the bat, then I want to change the score by 1, so I shove it in there. So let's give it a shot. So I'm ooh. There you go. I'm switching it. Okay. See that? The score is going up by 1, 2, 3. So this is a good thing. The counter is working. And then let's say I touch that sprite. Basically the score stops at 4. However, if you start it again, the score is reset to 0 and starts all over again. Okay. And this is basically it for the game. And this is a bare minimum game that a 2D game we can make using Scratch. And it might be a little bit complicating in the beginning, but it's very logical. It goes in steps and it repeats these steps. All you have to figure out is which one needs to get these commands onto. So good luck with the rest of your project. I'll explain a little more in person. However, this is going to be, I wanted you guys to watch this before you came to class so that we can start making this game. And after we make this game, we're going to play this game. Of course, you're going to be playing it while you're making it. However, the fun part is we're going to scratch this whole thing. I'm going to delete this entire thing. And you guys are going to make a game of your own. And I'm not going to give you any directions. You just are going to think of what kind of game you want to make, and then you're going to make it. This is going to be pretty exciting.